Let's take a look at childhood. Y'all expect us to pay for children to get their anatomy rearranged. Being born with a penis or a vagina. Well, actually, being born with a penis does put your life at an extreme risk. So I'm going to have to not make the statement I was about to. Women are not put at extreme risk by existing. They're absolutely not. Men have to endure more abuse over longer terms than women do. Most violence is committed against men. Most violence is committed by women. However, we've taught women how to manipulate people's assumptions. And of course, stupidity. I'll give you an example of similar stupidity elsewhere. Feudal Japan. Wait, let's go to Japan from World War II. A bunch of people killing each other. What good did it really do? It just got a bunch of people killed. But it's because of people's opinions and assumptions. Of course, there's you got to keep your mom safe, right? You got to keep your siblings safe. You got to keep your daughters safe. You got to keep your sons safe. But do you keep them safe? Right now, we got a lot of people in the LGBT community who are making things bad for literally everybody in the United States by wanting to have a never-ending war. Oh, well, you gave us rights as human beings. We're allowed to get married now, but you haven't given us enough. No. We don't owe it to you to give you things. You're not giving us those things. The hell's wrong with you? We've also got, if you've noticed, since Trump was in office, it is very liberal to be a racist today. Look how liberally racist Donald Trump was. Still is. How about his followers? Then again, he's a figurehead. What we're doing today with the whole January 6th thing, blaming Donald Trump for that, I don't even like Trump. Why the hell are you idiots forcing me to defend that idiot? Oh yeah, low IQs. So we got a bunch of neo-Nazis that now it's popular for them to be neo-Nazis. Meanwhile, they couldn't have picked a better opponent. I'm as disgusted by the LGBT community as I am by racists and police. I'm as disgusted by BLM as I am by those other communities too. Because you're not making your decisions based on right or wrong, you're making it based on your personal bias. Oh yeah, sure, there's kids with cancer, but you need to have your penis removed and get some breasts, right? At 13 years old, are you kidding me? That's gross. That's disgusting. And then, of course, everything liberal must be lazy. That's what we're taught by conservatives, who are real fond of being the laziest people on the whole friggin' planet and accusing everybody else of being lazy. Meanwhile, once in a while, they hit a spot that's right on the mark. We've given the LGBT community something that we've given women as well. Free reign to do as they choose. Free reign to destroy other people's lives, to harass innocent people. The people who are part of the LGBT community that are making it such a big issue are the ones being heard. Then there's those of us who have friends in the LGBT community. Some of them whom are actually quite intelligent, but they're not speaking up. See, once you start giving people something, they start wanting to know how much they can get out of you before you say enough is enough. And the LGBT community has the support of the most sexist people in the country. Women. Women have been shown to be the most sexist people in the country. Well, they have been shown to have the benefits of sexism in this country. Men don't benefit from sexism at all. What we benefit from is working together, but we are not allowed because we are men. If you decide that you are going to stalk a man as a woman, even other men are going to look the other way, and they'll take your side because their wives or girlfriends or people they have a crush on are going to be on your side just because you have a vagina. Now, the LGBT community has been making it worse for everyone, not just the LGBT community. We get to see this hatred from the LGBT community. And of course, we want to hold Donald Trump responsible, don't we? Lots of people with BLM want Donald Trump to be held responsible for his actions. Well, they're not holding him responsible for his actions. They're holding him responsible for the actions of others, the same as you do with every single homeless person. Between the LGBT community and the communities that hate them, I see why these communities hate them. That doesn't mean I agree with it. Between blaming the whole LGBT community and blaming the culprits who actually committed the crimes, it's a lot smarter to blame the people who committed the crimes. When you force people to break the law, you've done something horrible. And that's where many of you are at today. You pretend to care about people when it's beneficial to you. We got this whole Autism Awareness Month, and how many people are aware of autism? You guys are aware just enough to take advantage of us. You have just enough education. No, you don't. You don't have any education on us. You know wives' tales. You know the stories of neurotypicals who treat us like shit and play victim. See, the difference between you and I is that you were born liars and pieces of shit. You were raised to be liars, and you're not intelligent enough to separate yourself from that. Much like the idiots in the LGBT community. Just because somebody is gay doesn't mean they're stupid. Just because somebody is black doesn't mean they're stupid. Just because somebody is white doesn't mean that they're stupid. Just because somebody was born in the United States does not mean they're stupid. Just because somebody was born in Mexico doesn't mean that they're stupid. Y'all got a lot of things that you assign stupidity to. But the one thing that really, really needs to be paid attention to is how much we are giving to the LGBT community, and not good things. When people want to pretend that nobody who is a part of the LGBT community could ever possibly touch a child inappropriately, you done screwed up with me because I know better. When you want to tell victims that they can't be victims because of their skin color, because of their gender, keep in mind the majority of you sitting in jails and prisons were broke. That's what led to your arrest. Police officers knew you were broke. You guys want the government to take care of a bunch of stuff, so you ask them over and over again. And what do? They make it illegal for you to ask. That's right. When did that happen, and why did that happen? And how come Americans are supportive of it? Because Who is it that we see being shoved in our face from the LGBT community? Is it good people? No, it's severely mentally deranged individuals who feel that they are owed everything by everybody. Much of the issue that we're getting from Native American societies that want to blame all white people. You know what? Not all white people did those things to you. Now, if Israel isn't going to give me a chunk of property and Egypt isn't going to give me a chunk of property, why do I owe it to give you a chunk of property when I don't have any property? Then you tell me that I'm not working hard enough, I'm not trying hard enough, I'm not, well, isn't it amazing how much the LGBT community and the BLM community insist that we owe it to them to do all sorts of stuff that they would never lift a finger to help us with? BLM doesn't want to pay attention to how mental illness is used to destroy human lives because, of course, it only counts if it's black people. And that's the problem with BLM. They're not fighting for our rights. When BLM first came out, I was told, hey, they're fighting for our rights. They're going to get the laws changed so that we all have rights. No, 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 no. Only people of color. If you're a disabled white person, you're still white. If you're a female white person, you're still a white person. And that's how the people with BLM have been selling this since day one. So while you want to tell me a bunch of BS that is untrue about BLM, I'm paying attention to BLM. I'm also paying attention to the LGBT community. And by the way, the majority of the LGBT community does not agree with the minor attracted persons, aka pedophiles. Oh, well, if they haven't touched a child yet, then they're just minor attracted persons. And there's nothing illegal about that. All right, fine. Why don't you use that the other way around? See, well, we fought hard. Many of us who are not interested in sex and also believe that marriage is stupid and immoral still believe that homosexuals should have the right to ruin their lives in the same way. It still doesn't make any sense to most of us why homosexuals would want that right, other than the tax breaks. Now, there's lots of states that are full of bigots. Unfortunately, many of the LGBT community are exactly the same type of bigot. What they want matters, what you want doesn't. You need to go to the back of the bus because you're, well, insert whatever descriptive you want there. If you're not part of that community, they don't care. My entire life, I've had to deal with people who wanted to be horrible and mean and rotten and wrong just because I'm different. Not different in a bad way or a mean way or an evil way. When I'm abused, you tell me I just need to ignore it. It doesn't work that way. Ignoring abuse doesn't put a stop to it. Now we see there are many Americans today who are wanting to blame anybody who is different, anybody who isn't a gun-toting, foreigner-hating neo-Nazi in America. Like this picture for the front of this. It's about a lawn. They're blaming gay people for bad lawns. Does that make any sense? Not that we have anything better from the LGBT community. We keep getting told that it's a bunch of people's fault that didn't have nothing to do with it. It's a bunch of people's fault that people make fun of you for being gay that aren't gay, right? Because we're not sticking up for you. Are you sticking up for us, first of all? And second of all, I've been sticking up for you, even while you look the other way. I've been sticking up for black folks while they look the other way. Primarily BLM and people associated with BLM. And that includes many self-hating white people. Like, why would you join a hate group, especially a hate group that hates you, that tries to present to the world that you're some sort of a horrible monster because of your skin color, trying to pretend that all white people are inherently evil, because of things that happened many, many years ago. Well, those things are still happening today. Black people are taking part in it. Not sure if you knew this, but Colorado had card-carrying members of the KKK that were black back in the 1920s. We don't live in the 1920s, do we? We live in the modern world. And in the modern world, there's a lot of people who are giving up everything for a very, very small group of people. We're having to do this for every small group of people, with the exception of those we can easily discredit. Now, of course, a lot of people tried to discredit gay people, calling it a mental illness, claiming that anybody who was gay had mental issues because they were gay, that if they were right-minded, they wouldn't be homosexuals, and that therefore there must be something wrong with their brain. Now, this is where Autism Speaks comes in. Autism Speaks, one of the founding members was a man who thought that you could torture homosexuality out of people if you shock them enough, beat them enough. Then eventually they will become heterosexuals as God intended them. This is what they push. Separation of church and state, separation of science and God. Until you can prove the existence of God, you should probably stop using God in the name of science, or pretending that God is going to magically fix everything for you. Pretending that God hates who you hate, trying to twist scripture into something that it ain't. I'm not sure if you noticed this, but I've read the Bible many times. Why do I not consider myself a Christian? For the same reason I don't consider myself a heterosexual or a homosexual. Each of those groups are busy hating each other, and that's making it worse for all of us. No, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in with you idiots. Any of you idiots. It's the individual that counts. Now, when you and your group of buddies want to stalk a homeless man, who cares? When a gay person is thrown out on the street, we're supposed to care. Oh, that poor gay person. When a woman ends up out on the street, oh, that poor woman. When we end up on that street, the very same street, we get told that we wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it. We get told this by women, and by the LGBT community, and by the hetero community. No matter what, everybody's got an opinion, but nobody knows what's going on. Maybe you should listen to the victims. Why is it that I can't talk to a heterosexual about abuse that I have to endure without him making it about him? Why is it that I can't tell a homosexual about my issues and the things that I need help with without him making it about him? Why is it that I can't tell a woman about the issues that I need help with without her making it about her? And why is it that you're blaming the LGBT community for your shitty neighbor's lawn? Trying to insinuate that homosexuals are lazy, just like you do with the homeless? Of course, the LGBT community isn't standing up for the homeless, so I should probably stop here because it's not acceptable. It is no longer acceptable for me to protect the LGBT community. Once the LGBT community decided to model their behaviors and their choices after the Nazis, they became all of our enemies. It's okay to be gay. It's not okay to be part of LGBT. It's okay to be black. It's not okay to be part of BLM. It's okay to be white. It's not okay to be part of the KKK. It's okay to be American. It's just not okay to be a part of the government. You show your bias by who you talk over and who you make excuses for. Fact is, all of you are disgusting people, regardless of what you're interested in sexually. You only care what benefits you. You don't care about other human beings in the least bit. You care about telling them what to do, what to think, what to feel. You like telling them what they should have done, should have done, should have done. Here's what you should have done. Really? Were you there for the options that person had to choose from? Or are you busy being a judgmental asshole? The fact is, you're all judgmental assholes. And then you're hip. People judge you back. Oh, poor you. They've committed a horrible sin by telling the truth. Well, maybe you should have listened, dummy. No, we do not owe it to children to mutilate their genitalia. Between a 13-year-old who wants different pieces down there and a 13-year-old who's got cancer, yeah, I'd rather my money went to helping the child with cancer. Cosmetics should not be the job of the American people to pay for. If you don't want your vagina and you think that you are owed a penis, no, you're not. There's plenty of people that were born ugly. There's plenty of people who are born short. And they don't get the benefits that you get. When somebody is ugly, they're expected to pay for their own. Either their parents are expected to pay for it or they have to earn it as an adult. But then again, earning it as an adult, when you have less benefits and less options because you're not as attractive as somebody else. Yeah, you may remain ugly for the rest of your life because nobody's going to pay you the wages they pay a pretty person. I'm not against people having sex changes. I am against children having sex changes. I am against us paying for those sex changes. Just so you know, for the amount of money that it costs for one person to get a transition from female to male, you can house 11 homeless people for a year. That's because sex change operations have gotten a lot cheaper. $11 homeless people and all their expenses. See, the problem is that inflation is a lie. It's stupid. It makes every generation have to work harder than the last. Every generation is expected to give more, receive less. Every generation is fed this BS about ask not what you can do for your country. Ask what your country can do for you. You like how I bass-backwarded that? Somebody just pulled super close to me. When it comes to our rights, the United States of America is a we the people country. If only your group matters to you, you're not a we the people, and you really shouldn't be here. Yes, I still fight for black rights, and I still fight for the rights of the LGBT community. However, the LGBT and BLM situations, those are harming all of us. We've got hate mongers on both sides. We've got people who want to pretend that Nazism is the only American way to be. Everything that wasn't perfect in your life, you got to find somebody else to blame. Oh, it's the homeless people. It's the LGBT people. It's the straight people. It's the... No, it's you. You don't care when it happens to others. If it happens to a white man, you say, oh, well, white man deserves it. If it happens to a black man, you say, well, you know, we need to do something about that because people look away from all that white people stuff. So then we get a bunch of generalizations. Those never get us anywhere, except screwed. None of y'all are good people. Some of you are nice. But as I've said many times, a used car salesman is nice. This doesn't mean good. Cowardice and complacency are not considered good traits. I give equality. I get enough hatred from the LGBT community. Yeah, I speak up against the LGBT community because you're not. When a black person kills a white person, does BLM care? No, they don't. Because it's a racist hate group. Just like the LGBT community has become. Just like the feminist community has become. So now you feel that you're owed, you're entitled. Meanwhile, there's people like me that don't have any rights as a human being because of a label. While all of you complain that you're being treated badly because of your label, shit, there's people like me that have fought our entire lives to protect people like you with your labels, while you ignore people like me. Oh, heteros don't have it as bad as we do. Are you sure? You have any idea of us? Human beings are made fun of for being homosexuals by hateful bigots. You don't have to be gay to be treated like you're gay. You don't have to be a cross-dresser to be treated like a cross-dresser. I know many women and men who are physically unattractive, but people call them the other gender intentionally to be mean. That's antagonization. But we're supposed to just take it, ain't we? Y'all are disgusting. You victimize people who can't take care of themselves and can't defend themselves. That's what it comes down to. When you have a bad day, you try to find somebody you consider weak. People that nobody's going to listen to. People are a lot more likely to listen to a gay person than a homeless person, just so you know. A homeless homosexual doesn't get hurt any more than the rest of the homeless. However, we get a bunch of gay people who want to pretend only homeless because they're gay, and that all of the treatment that they get out there is because they're gay. We get the same crap out of black people on the streets. No, it's not because you're black. No, it's not because you're gay. It's because you're homeless. Stupid.